Assalamu alaikum and greetings to everyone. So today we have myself, Rahim, and Omar. Naam, Omar. So obviously the common question where people always bring it up is why are most men broke? Yeah, and I think it'll be interesting, inshallah, to discuss about this and shed more light.
That's the microphone.
On this
That's the microphone, by the way. Where's your mic?
Oh, Mike is here actually. It was just so. All right.
That's better now.
Oh, you can tell the difference, yeah?
Huge difference.
Ah, mashallah.
Now you sound like a real host. Mashallah.
Yeah.
So what's the question?
Why are most men broke? Now, yeah, what do you think is the reason why most men are broke?
Reason that most men are broke? I would say after the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because everything comes from the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we believe as Muslims, everything starts right there.
That's right.
I would say second to that is the lack of having a plan. The lack of having a plan. Because many people, for example, work 9 to 5 jobs, and there's nothing wrong with that in the beginning, especially in the beginning, if you have a plan. One thing people have to understand is that, especially here in America, that 9 to 5 job is only made to keep you out of the food stamp line. It's to keep you away from having to request benefits, etc. It's to keep you from being evicted from your home.
Yeah.
It's to take care of the basic necessities. It's not made to get rich off. That's not the purpose of it. Even though people do, people work their way up in companies sometimes, and the company ends up exiting. You've heard stories of this before, even in the UK.
Yeah.
You've heard similar stories. But generally speaking, people focus on working at 9 to 5 until 30, 40 years go by, and they never put forth a plan. And they may have relied on a 401k. And in some situations here in the U.S., those pensions were spent. Unfortunately, people have known this 20, 30 years. The government is not in position to take care of these baby boomers, the elderly, or people that didn't necessarily put forth a plan as they should have. As leaders of a family, you need to focus on putting forth a plan for your family. One of the main reasons for divorce is financial issues.
Not just in America. I would say not just in America, but everywhere around the world, especially in the West.
This is the main reason for divorce. So if you know that the main reason, if you understand that, that's where most of your attention needs to be put, or a large portion of it. After the deed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we know it's a great honor to leave the home to take care of your family. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that a person that leaves his family in order to seek risk for his family, he's like a mujahid. He's like the mujahid fi sabilillah. So if we understand that, we know that it's a great honor to leave the house, number one, to take care of your family. And it's a great honor to put together some sort of plan for the future. You can create that cushion, put together some systems that will benefit your family in the long run versus looking at short term, looking years out. That's what we as men have to learn to do. We have to have that vision where we're looking years in advance, 10 years, 20 years, inshallah, what I want my family to be. And I think this is one of the main reasons people go broke, or people are broke in the long run. To answer your question, a lack of planning and a lack of, number two, I would say the person, tawfiq, having the tawfiq in the heart, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You gotta have the tawfiq. Tawfiq is from Allah with everything. Number two, a lack of planning. And number three, a lack of understanding how to build wealth, for example, in the first place, or lack of financial literacy. So those are some of the reasons. We can expound on those things.
Yeah, you're right, because you did touch on quite a lot of things. And this area here, I feel, and from my experience, is an area that most people don't really understand much or are not educated especially the financial literacy side of things. A lot of people are not educated around that area. Because why most men are broke, a lot of time, just like you said, the 9 to 5 work, right? By default, most of us are programmed to work, make money, and spend.
100%.
Right? And that's what most people do. If you give a child money, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to want to spend it without teaching them any financial literacy or advising them on how best to use this money. My kids, when I give them money, they want to go and spend it on things.
They're going to go spend it.
And that's how we've been programmed. We see things we want. You don't have the money. The moment you get the money, you want to go and spend it. And this system, that's how we've grown up. So the only difference here is now you're working and you're making more money. But the same habits that you had as a child is still there. And this is where you find, I'll say 95% of the people, they work, they make money, and they spend it. I know people, as a matter of fact, I have people within my network that do 9 to 5, right? And they make good money. Some of them make about almost 20 grand a month doing this. But they have this bad spending habit. They don't take drugs.
Stop.
They don't do women. They don't do haram stuff. And you always ask yourself, what do they spend their money on? They don't save either, especially one particular one of them. And I've studied this person for the past 10 years. 10 years ago, this person was earning about 6 grand in a month. And I remember that time I used to tell this person, you need to save money. You need to always have an emergency fund. You need to save money. Don't spend all your salary. They didn't want to listen. Right? 10 years after, at this point, this person now is making about 20 grand a month. And the same old habit.
Same habits.
The only difference is his salary is increased. If you ask me now, does he have 100K saved? No, he doesn't. About 10 months ago, I was telling him, you need to have your first 100K saved. Put it down.
That was good advice.
And he said, money's not a priority. Money doesn't motivate me. I'm not in a rush. And when I lose my work, I'm going to get another one quickly. At this point, he's broke. His industry is a bit dry now. There isn't much job out there. Inshallah, eventually will pick up. This situation where I was trying to warn him against 10 months ago, that's where he's now. This is the case of most workers. By default, if you follow the standard system, you are always going to be broke every month.
100%.
Plus, you're made to be broke. The money is not even in your account yet, and it's finished. If you're working 9 to 5, most of the time, the month hasn't even ended and your money's finished. So, if you don't actually go on your way to plan with effort that you are going to save XYZ percentage of your money regardless and make those adjustments, you are not, most people are not willing to do it because they're too much in their comfort zone. Obviously, to get out of this, you have to come out of your comfort zone. You have to put yourself in situations that you don't want to be in. It's not going to be comfortable. It's like when I speak to people on how they should save their first 100K or how they should make their first 100K. Yeah. The path to doing that is not cushioned. It's not smooth, but it's for your own good.
100%.
And if you're not willing to do it, you're not going to do it. So come back
Not going to do it.
to the topic, why most people are broke. Number one is because, just like you said, after the topic of lack of planning, if you don't plan to save, you're not going to do it because you're living paycheck to paycheck. And that's the case of most people.
Paycheck to paycheck.
Right? Number one is the planning. If you don't plan, it's not going to happen. Number two is the knowledge, that financial literacy, the know-how. Because, again, those who know and those who don't know, they're not the same.
They're
When
not the same.
money to a certain level, you meet different circle of people. and you get exposed to different things out there, different investment, different deals. Until you get to this level, it's not available to you, because that person on that level, he doesn't see the benefit of telling you about it because you're not there. You are not the audience. You know what I mean? I'll give an example.
Agreed.
Let's say there's an investment whereby this particular company, they need XYZ for a short term. Some of my friends, obviously with companies, need XYZ amount to fulfill this order until the invoice come in. And this is the profit on it, and this is how much percentage we're willing to give. Now, when you have free cash sitting there, you are able to leverage that, because I don't need this cash for the next few months. And the time they're going to bring it, it's not that time. By the time that cash come back, it's not going to affect what I need it for. So again, now put yourself in a situation whereby you're not in that position. They're not going to speak to you about these kind of things because it won't be of any benefit to you, nor them. So again, and also that financial literacy, right? Understanding how well to save and utilize your money, to grow your money. Because one thing I want to say, and this is something I always talk about, most people misunderstand this. And you and I, until we got to where we are, we never understood this. So I don't blame the people, right? You see, your working capital, your salary that you earn from your work, this is something that we call seed money. Seed money. After paying your rent and your necessity, right? Whatever's left for you to walk away with, it's not supposed to be spent. Because the problem what most people find themselves, because he has a job, he's getting paid 50K a year or 60K a year, he thinks he's free. And the reality only kicks in once he loses his job. Then he start looking for work. Then he start panicking because why? Maybe he's got mortgage. Maybe he's got some other things he's paying for, right? Even though, of course, we don't promote mortgage, right? But whatever he's gotten himself involved in, that he's paying monthly for, right? Now he start panicking. How I'm going to pay this, right? How I'm going to pay this. And some even go as far as start borrowing money, taking loans. They were comfortable and did not plan ahead. They were spending that seed money that was coming every month. But that seed money, right? After paying your expenses, your necessities, whatever is left for you to walk away with, instead of going on holiday and doing other things, your first priority should be trying to replace that income. Your salary, your first priority is trying to replace that. And that can be done in a number of ways.